Lord Jesus. God damn. Wow. Charlo versus Rosario just finished up. That was crazy. Crazy ass fight. Rosario's big as hell. That dude is huge. When he walked up into that ring, it was like, damn, what the is that? That dude is huge. But off the rip, though, you could also tell that Charlo was very, very strong. You could tell he was very, very powerful when he was placing his shots. You could hear it. You know, you could hear how heavy-handed he was when he was placing his shots. In the beginning, he was kind of like, almost kind of like in some sections of the Harrison fight. In the second fight, he was kind of like off balance and trying to stretch out too far to throw punches, just weird stuff like that. But he ended up, catching Rosario. I believe it was either in the first or the second round. I think it was the first round, and he dropped Rosario with the punch. Rosario obviously got back up. He was game. He kept fighting. Pretty much Charlo was like, when it comes to the inside, when it came to a certain distance, he wasn't going to allow Rosario to do his work. So when Rosario got into a certain distance, he would grab him, hold him. Grab him, hold him. Rosario was trying to come at him. He kept his movement, he kept his legs moving, kept his leg moving, throwing the jab, throwing the jab, throwing the jab, coming with the straight rights. But he kept that movement, kept that movement. In the first half of the fight, every time Rosario got anywhere close, he'd hold him. Anywhere close, he'd hold him. Later on in the rounds, Rosario's throwing, he tried to throw with Rosario, but he's throwing a little bit wild. He ended up getting caught, but he was fine. It wasn't anything where he was in any kind of danger or anything like that. But then he started timing it better though, because I remember it was literally a second before he did it, he had missed a check left hook, and I was like, all right, he ain't gonna keep missing those. This dude keeps throwing like that. This dude's gonna throw between his punches and catch him with that check left hook. And literally a couple seconds later, bam, he caught him, put Rosario down again. Rosario gets back up. They're fighting. Charles still, throwing the jabs. Calmed down a little bit more in the second half. He was more precise with his shots. Wasn't reaching out as much. Wasn't missing the wild hooks he was throwing as much. He was kind of cleaned up his game a little bit. And then a round came up, and he catches Rosario with this heavy, straight right jab to the body. Boom! Right? Rosario moves back. He's still throwing. And I'm like, there was no reaction or anything like that, but I was like, that shit was kind of hard. All you heard was just a thump. Just looked at it, I was like, and then he went back to the corner. The round ends. He goes back to the corner, and he's shaking his head. Now, this is a guy who's already been down twice. He's been hit by a couple of shots already. Then I saw that crazy body shot hit him. I was shocked there wasn't a reaction. I was shocked he didn't curl up and drop to the floor. But he gets up off of his stool, and he's just shaking his head. He's shaking his head as if there's something wrong with him. And then he starts to walk out almost without his mouthpiece. We had to hold him back there to put his mouthpiece in. And then he went back out to fight. And then Charlo catches him with one shot, catches him with a shot to the body, and he just drops. He just drops and just starts convulsing. Literally convulsing, like something's going on in this midsection, just convulsing, spazzing. And he couldn't get up. And that was it. It was the end of the fight. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but I think it was from that one shot from the previous round that he caught him with the body. It was a right jab to the body. And I think that did something. You know what I mean? And he's on his way to the hospital for observation, which is a good thing, because I think they need to give him a freaking MRI, whatever. They need to check his stomach. They need to check inside to make sure there's no bleeding going on or something like that. So I hope when he gets there, they do that. They do check him out to make sure that he's okay. Because if he's bleeding in there, they don't know until later, this dude's going to end up having to have his body opened up in an emergency situation. So I hope they actually do check him out and they make sure that he's okay. But my gosh, it was crazy though. You know what I mean? That was ridiculous. To drop somebody down like that, stop him like that. This man is a beast. You know what I mean? He's a freaking beast. Sometimes you want a little more action from him inside the ring, but he just does what he needs to do to win on a regular basis. And he's definitely the king of 154-pound weight division. And you definitely got to put him up there top 5 pound for pound best in the world. Period. No one else is doing what this man is doing. No one else, especially with this level of competition, no one else is doing what this man is doing. To do it to the likes of Harrison, to do it to the likes of freaking Rosario, with the way Rosario's been fighting, that all that size, that power that man has, to him to do that, 3 of the belts, you might as well call him undisputed. Because that WBO champion ain't gonna fight him. We all know that. Period. He's gonna sit over there in the cut, unknown. You know what I mean? Hopefully Oscar De La Hoya will be like, hey, we'll let the man go, come over to PBC and fight for 3 belts. Hopefully. But I doubt it. You know what I mean? So I have to say this man right here is king. Because literally that other dude with the belt, with the WBO belt, you could name a list of guys that would beat him. He's not getting past Lubin. He's not getting past Harrison. He's not getting past J-Rock. He's not getting past Rosario. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting past Hurd. He's not getting past Lara. Like, the list just goes on, and that's not everybody, you know? But the list just continues. So he's, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. But, you know, shout out to Charlo. Great performance. Great nights of boxing. His brother handled his business, did what he needed to do. You know, both of them, great fights. But this one right here, this main event right here, wow. That's all you can say. Incredible. But for now, I'm going to sleep. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.